Hello.
Hi.
So how was it transferring the original version of The Snow Queen into an animated musical?
It was not easy.
No.
It was fun though.
Not easy
but,
at
yeah.
all. I mean, the original, you speak very well about, well, I'll let you speak about it. The original story.
The original story, it's beautiful, it's intense, it's dark, it's very symbolic and poetic, and it's a lot of things that cinema is not. Cinema's much more concrete. So we really had to work our way in and see what was resonating, and we drew from the very powerful theme of love versus fear, which is a neat twist, and not to do good versus evil, but that, and to, keep these strong female characters, but give, Gerda in that as a little girl who struggles to save her friend, who's a boy, Kai, from this evil Snow Queen. And we had more fun when we gave Kai's story to Elsa and made the two sisters, and suddenly there was a real emotional connection. And so we constantly went back to it, but we had to make it our own, to really kind of say who are these people, and not just sort of symbolically who they are, but really make them feel human and real.
And then making it a musical, it has so many great emotional moments and comedic moments. And we talked with Bobby Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez, our songwriters, and they always say that some of the best songs, or the time for a song, is when the characters, there's so much emotion that they have to sing it. And that's sort of what we have in this movie, and it was kind of a given to do it as a musical. We always wanted to do it as that, so it was really fun.
Okay, I mean, wonderful. Do you feel like kind of changing it into the musical gave it anything extra, or do you think that anything was lost in a translation of it, or do you think it was a positive transference?
Oh, well, I think, the thing as a screenwriter, for me, what the music allowed me to do is to work. We wanted to do a very big film, very epic, take you on this like humorous, crazy ride, but that had a lot of heart. And there's nothing that can do that better than music. What they could evoke, Bobby and Kristen could do in a song, would take me 5 or 6 scenes to get you to feel that same thing. And so I think we were really just allowed to do a much more epic story because of it. And I couldn't imagine doing it any other way.
And sometimes the emotion you just can get across so quickly, and it may not even necessarily be the lyrics, but just the way that the music sounds can take the audience to a place, an emotional place, very quickly. So it's a nice sort of shorthand way to get there.
Okay, cool. I mean, kind of by doing that, you managed to humanise the villain, the archetypal villain of the story, and Elsa very, very well. And also kind of created a more kind of wolf in disguise version of the villain in Hans. I mean, kind of, I mean, it seems like quite a feminist movie in many ways. Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, again, the original story is has really strong female characters, and we love the idea, again, that Anna's armed only with love, and that's all she needs. I mean, her journey is about learning what love is, and that she has a very naive view of that in the beginning of the film, and she has a very sophisticated view of that by the end. And we want to take the audience on her growth, her experience, and that involves romantic love. But in that, with Elsa, we didn't feel the need to make her a villain. In fact, we were more excited when she was complex, and it just felt like her story, there was a lot more to draw out of it by having her live in fear of who she is, and I think a lot of people relate to that a lot more than the villain, and letting the real villain in many ways actually be fear. Let it be something that is sort of taking over the world in the version of Snow, using Snow as that, and
we kind of
do
feel
it
that
different.
way in today's society too. That fear is really a villain. You know, we watch the news, and everything about the news makes you afraid to walk out the door. Yeah. And so we sort of wanted to tackle that a little bit.
Yeah, and it felt like that's a theme that it's timely, but it's timeless. You know, Hans Christian Andersen did it, so.
I mean, the theme of kind of fear and guilt and loyalty that kind of run throughout the film, it seems like quite a coming-of-age story. Would you think it could be classified as such?
I definitely do. I think it's interesting. We often try to build in very, very dark flaws into characters, and we love flaws in characters, and nobody's perfect, but I always felt like Anna's journey, all she needed was it was a coming of age for her, and in a very different way, because she's got so much pressure on her to save her kingdom, and she's torn because she cares about her sister so much. And so I think that,
she learns really what real love is.
Yeah,
as
and that's
opposed
part
to
of
romantic love. She starts off, it's all about the romantic love, but what is real
which
love?
we've all been there, you know.
We've all been there. And what and sort of redefining true love. What really is true love? Or there can be many types of true love. So
Yeah.
I think that it's a journey, it's a coming of age for Anna. She learns that and teaches the audience that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Frozen I started off as sort of, it was meant to be more specifically about romantic love. I mean, how did a transference happen into kind of more the notion of sisterhood and sisterly love, than the more romantic?
Well, I think Chris. Oh, what I always loved, because when I heard Chris pitching when I was on Wreck-It Ralph, and was they always wanted to turn romantic love on its head and to
I'd always
say
thought. Well, I had
truly-
talked about.
yeah.
You know, romantic love for me in a relationship. It's sort of the first 6 months of a relationship. That's the hearts, the candies, the roses. That's all. That's very sweet.
Yeah.
And then real love kicks in. You know, you start to have the argument, the first argument, the first, you know, debate, and really starting to work out. And that's where I think the deeper kind of relationship, the real love happens. And then that came, the real love sort of led to how to redefine true love, redefine an
Through
act of true
family.
love.
Which
And
is
that
the
was through-
ultimate sort of goal in a way, and is
through
that
family,
it's
right?
through family.
So that it was an evolution of ideas that led to that, but I think a little more something a little different for a Disney movie. So
Okay, well, wonderful. Okay, well, thank you very much.
thank
Is that, but kind of finally, are there any particular past Disney movies that you feel inspired you and helped you along your way in the making of Frozen?
Well, I think for both of us, we love Disney films in general in the way that you can laugh and cry, and it takes you on this big journey. But we do have our favorites, and you know, it's easy. That, you know, for me, the first film I ever saw was Cinderella, and I loved this notion that even when things are tough, you never know what's around the next corner.
and for me it was Pinocchio. That was one of the first ones that I saw, and kind of the same thing. You know, you can go through a very crazy journey and things can get very scary, but in the end, you know, it can work out. So I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.
It was nice talking to you.
Pleasure to meet you.